Where do the New Orleans Pelicans rank in the best of the West? Let's find out right now on Pelicans Scoop. What is good, everybody? It is your man with the plan, Jordan Kitchens, and I am back again with another edition of the Pelicans Scoop. Stop what you're doing. You know the drill. Like, comment, subscribe. Hit that, smash that bell notification so you can be notified when Pelican Scoop drops. Come on, man. Y'all see me? Y'all gonna see my face basically every day. Because he's telling me I got it. I'm just playing. Y'all gonna see my face every day. And today's Pelicans topic is, we're gonna have a pretty, how I want to say this. It's gonna be a good episode. So my guy, my producer, Taylor, Tay, Mr. Taylor Sharp, we're gonna talk ball today. We're gonna talk about the Western Conference, and basically we're gonna give our predictions of how it's gonna, stack out towards the end of the season. Disclaimer: we're not doing records. All right, I'm not sitting here crunching. I'm feeling 50 games for this. I'm not doing that. 1 through 10. The first 7 through 10 is the play-in, but 1 through 10. We're gonna do 1 through 10. All right, we're not doing records like they're gonna have 46 wins and we're not doing that. Okay, it's September. All right, we're not doing all that. Okay, so to refresh everybody's memory, let me just tell y'all the 2024 Western Conference standings. So the number 1 seed was the OKC Thunder. Obviously, the Pelicans played them and swept us off the court. If Zion was healthy, I highly doubt they would have swept it. Well, I highly doubt they would have swept the Pelicans. So you have the OKC Thunder, the number 1 seed. 2 seed was the Denver Nuggets. 3, Minnesota Timberwolves. 4, Clippers. 5, Mavericks. 6, the Phoenix Suns. The Lakers with the 7 seed. Pelicans 8. And Kings and Warriors to round out 9 and 10. All right, Taylor. You good over there?
I'm good to go.
Ready to go. Okay, just make it so. Let's get it, man. So I don't know how controversial this episode will be. Hopefully, I don't know. However y'all feeling about it, like I said, let me know. Comment. And so for my number 1 seed of the 2024-2025 season, at the end of the season for the Western Conference, Oklahoma City Thunder.
I have zero issue with that. I think that's the correct answer. They are a young team. They are talented, top down. I mean, they got 8 or 9 guys that can hurt you. Gilgeous Alexander might be the best point guard in the NBA now. I mean, I think that's a perfect pick.
Caruso, Hartenstein. Those are 2 keys I highlighted. Like, it's crazy because how can a team that was the number 1 seed last year, when the Mavericks got rid of them, they immediately got better. Like, they immediately brought in Alex Caruso and Hartenstein. So when you see teams like that are on the verge of knocking on the door and they still continue to get better in the offseason, it's kind of hard to say like they're not going to be there. So moving forward, at my number 2 seed, this might get a little sticky. I have not yet, but I have the Minnesota Timberwolves at the 2 seed. Here we go.
I don't hate it because I think they're a top 5 seed. I think they're a playoff team. I would maybe still lean Nuggets and Mavericks ahead of them.
Okay.
Just because if you need a guy to take over the game, I trust Jokic and Luka to do that just a little bit more than Anthony Edwards right now. He's a great player, just was a little inconsistent in times down the stretch. But I think they're a top 4 seed, no doubt.
Yes. So the reason why I have the Wolves so high is because when I have them at the 2 seed, I'm not necessarily saying that they're going to make it all the way, but the vibes I get from Minnesota is that they're regular season warriors. Like, they seem like they're a team that's going to go super hard during the regular season this year. I ain't going to say they're going to burn out, but they're going to try and just put the pedal to the metal. Anthony Edwards going to be real flashy this year. Nas Reed might take that next jump. So that's why I feel like the Wolves will be the 2 seed. Not necessarily saying they're going to make it all the way, but I think they'll be a regular season warrior. Like, they're going to be extremely good during the regular season, and they're just going to be up there. So moving forward, at the 3 seed, this is when I have the Dallas Mavericks at the 3 seed.
No, I love this. I would probably have Dallas at the 3 seed as well. I think this is perfect. Luka Doncic, top 5 player in the NBA, at least in my opinion.
Yes.
I thought he got a little bit better on the defensive side of the ball in the playoffs after he took that early criticism.
Yep.
Him and Kyrie worked a lot better together than I initially thought they would. I mean, that's 2 big egos, 2 ball-dominant guards, and they played well with each other. I honestly did not think it was going to work, but, I mean, obviously they make it all the way to the NBA Finals, so they were doing something right. I love it. I think they're going to run it back, similar squad that they had a year ago. There's
Klay Thompson.
Nothing telling us otherwise. Yeah, add Klay Thompson that they're going to be worse than a year ago.
Yeah, and then, Lively and Gafford, year 2 with them. So I think the Mavericks are going to be a very formidable foe. Now, let's get into the nitty-gritty. This might be a little controversial for some Pelican fans, but at the 4th seed, I have the Memphis Grizzlies. Ja Morant healthy, Zach Edey. I think if they're fully healthy, they will be up there.
I think the 2 guys you mentioned, right? It depends on Ja Morant. I mean, one reason or another, whether it was foolishness or an unfortunate injury. We hadn't seen a lot of Ja Morant lately. And then Zach Edey, I think, can be a good player in the right system. We'll see how they use him. For me, that's a little bit high, but I do think the Grizzlies are going to be better than they were a year ago.
Okay. Reason why? Well, the main point I put for the Grizzlies is just health. That same point I have for the Pelicans too, just health. If the Grizzlies are healthy, and it's hard to, come out in September and be like, if they're healthy, and then the team dies in the first month of the season. So it's hard to, put health on teams. But I think if they're a healthy squad with the pieces that they brought in, Marcus Smart, hopefully he's healthy this year. I guess I like the Zach Edey and Jaren Jackson front court. So I have the Grizzlies at the 4th seed. And at the 5th seed, I have the Denver Nuggets, rounding out my top 5. I think the reason why I have them, I guess you would say they're kind of low. Westbrook, man, I'm gonna be real, everybody. It's at this point when I see Westbrook on champion good team rosters, it scares me a little bit, man. It scares me a little bit. I'm not a Westbrook hater, but at this point, when Westbrook's on your squad now, it's just like it's a deterrent for me. So that's why I'm not necessarily saying Westbrook's gonna play them out, but it's a little weird, man. Westbrook's on your team because it's like your team kind of just falls flat a little bit. So, did you say something about the Nuggets yet?
I would have had him higher. I probably would have had him either 2 or 3, just because of Nikola Jokic. I mean, you mentioned MVP. The health of the Memphis Grizzlies. Same thing here. If Jamal Murray's healthy, if their role players are healthy, you have arguably the best player in the game of basketball. And I agree with you. I don't think they're gonna be an NBA Finals team because you say you're not a Russell Westbrook hater. You can go ahead and call me one. I don't think you can win a championship with Russell Westbrook as your starting point guard, depending on the role he takes.
Yes.
If you have him come off the bench, and again, is he okay with coming off the bench? But I think they're a talented group nonetheless.
Yes. So, 5th seed, the Nuggets. Moving forward, 6th seed is a wild card, and this is where I slot the New Orleans Pelicans at the 6th seed. Again, when we talking health, if they're healthy, it's going to be hard. You know what? I can't even say nothing about health with the Pelicans, man, because we've been praying for health for the last 6 years. So saying health at this point is like a broken record. But wild card. That's all I'm going to say for the Pelicans. It's basically a wild card. Like, I don't know I have no clue what they're going to give you. So that's why they're just slotted as the wild card in the 6th seed.
No, I like this spot. You mentioned health, and that's always a big concern for the Pelicans. They would have been at the 6th seed firmly if they would have been healthy a year ago. But even if they're not fully healthy, this team's deeper. They're one of the deeper teams. I mean, look at all the guys you got coming in. How quickly can Yves Missi develop? Now, I know you don't want to throw him in too quick, but Jordan Hawkins is a year older. It's his 2nd year in the system. You got a lot of talent coming off that bench. I think you're deeper than a lot of people think. I think the 6th seed is right on the money for the Pelicans.
Okay. See, I'm going to be honest, everybody. I didn't think Taylor was going to be rocking with my list like this. That was not the plan.
I hate the Nuggets at 5. So
I
don't like the Timberwolves at 2. But other than that,
he's rolling with the list.
Other than that, we're okay.
He's rolling with the list. Now, my 7 through 10 spot. This is the playing. We in that playing stage, right? So now we bumping elbows now. So my first playing team. Round of applause. Drum roll. Phoenix Suns. Got the Phoenix Suns at the 7th seed. KD Book. I don't really think just because of the payrolls with Bill, all the money's going with those 3 players. They're trying to fill in with randoms like Bol and Nurkic and all that. So the Suns, just off the fact they have Kevin Durant, Booker, they're not going to tank it. Like, they're not going to be bad, but I don't think they're going to be a upper echelon team just off depth alone. So I have the Suns at the 7th seed.
Here's where we disagree a little bit.
Okay.
Mr. Jordan Kitchens. And the reason is because I would have the Sacramento Kings higher than you have them.
Okay.
I could actually argue putting them at 6. I think the Kings are going to be good. A lot like the Pelicans last year. They were a few injuries away from being good. We know what they have in the backcourt. You add DeMar DeRozan in the offseason. I think that's a big one. Keegan Murray is a year older. He had a pretty solid year as a rookie. I mean, Malik Monk's there. Domantas Sabonis is going to be back. You're going to have you obviously have De'Aaron Fox at point guard. You're going to be a solid team once again. I think the Kings need to be a little bit higher.
Okay, so you would have them 6 or 7?
The Kings, I would probably have 7, just because I think the Pelicans are a little bit more susceptible to like overcome the injury, just because I think they're a little bit deep.
Yeah, okay. And I guess you can say historically at this point, Pelicans, the Pelicans usually beat the Kings at this point.
Yeah, no, they've been very good, especially late in the year against.
So okay, 7 seed, you have the Kings. I would have the Suns. All right, now I already know for a fact Taylor's gonna hate this pick. I'm at 8 seed. I have the Lakers. Right, I get it. When you say the Lakers, it's like saying Voldemort and Harry Potter. It's like the damn ceiling's gonna come down. I get it. Anthony Davis, y'all probably hate him, but he's still a perennial all-star. He's still a force, especially when he played the Pelicans. He's a force because we don't really match up well with him at all. I mean, LeBron's old as dirt, but still LeBron James. And I don't know what it is, but like the Pelicans have a mental block when they play the Lakers. Like I hate to say they're scared because they're professional athletes. They shouldn't. They're NBA. Everybody on the court's an NBA player, but it's just something different when they play the Lakers. Like they whittle to the moment. So I have the Lakers barely scraping in. I have them in the play-in. They might be 8, 9, or 10. I just feel like they'll be in the play-in. So, Taylor?
No, I actually don't hate that one. I'd probably have them closer to 9 or 10 than 8. Yeah. But we see this every year, right? Everybody laughs at the Lakers because they'll have a losing skid. But you mentioned it. LeBron James is still LeBron James. They still always seem to find themselves squarely in the play-in spot. They've done it for the past few years now. I don't see why it would be any different. I mean, LeBron is still – is he the best player in the NBA anymore? No, he's not. He's getting up there in age. But when LeBron James needs to turn it on, he can turn it on with the best of them. I don't mind them in the play-in spot.
Okay, so now I'm gonna be honest, everybody. For my 9 or 10 spot, I don't have anybody slotted. I have a group of 5, and the Kings. The Kings were in my group of 5. So my last 2 spots. The reason why I have nobody slotted, I'll give my breakdown. The first team I have that could be in a 9 to 10 spot, Spurs. Victor Wembanyama, unicorn. Greg Popovich. I have no clue how. I mean, it's Chris Paul. I get it. He's 40 years old. He's an old man. Wembanyama, he's tantalizing. I have no idea what he might come out and do next year. Like he could. I'm not saying they're gonna be a solidified playoff team, but how good he is, man. He might be able to make a run that 10th seed, 9th seed. Then I have the Houston Rockets. Year 2, Ime Udoka. They came on really hot last year and they barely missed the play-in. I think the Houston Rockets, they probably, a lot more health. Again, we're speaking about health in September, but if they're healthy, they're a good young team. I like their roster a lot. They're pretty deep. I think the Rockets will 9 to 10 spot. Like I said, it's a 9 to 10 spot. The Warriors, I think the Warriors are going to fall off the planet, but it's still the Steph Curry effect and, Steve Kerr, championship winning coach. So I have them. I don't think they'll be that good. I have them kind of scraping by a little bit. The Kings, Taylor's higher on the Kings than I am. I think the Kings are good, but the kind of way I feel about the Kings, they're kind of like you're waiting for something bad to happen. I hate to say it because people outside looking in, people probably feel the same way about the Pelicans. Like you're just waiting for something bad to happen. Like the Kings, it's kind of like the Browns. Like they're going to be the Browns. Like they're going to brown at the end of the day. Like the Kings are just going to be the Kings. Kings fans, if you watch this, I'm sorry. But I just think the Kings are just going to be the Kings. And then my final team is the Los Angeles Clippers. Paul George is gone. I don't really know. I mean, Ty Lue's a good coach. I don't really know what to make of the Clippers. Like you look at the roster on paper, I mean, it's Kawhi. Can you really count on Kawhi?
Kawhi's basically not an NBA player anymore.
Yeah, like you really can't count on him. So I don't even know what to make of the Clippers. Steve Ballmer, he's going to put the money in them. They got the new stadium coming out. James Harden. Can we really trust James Harden in a Kawhi Leonard-led team? So I have the Clippers probably not even making it at all, but I have them in a 9 to 10 spot.
I don't mind that. Again, I would probably have the Lakers 9 or 10 instead of 8. Houston Rockets would have been my first team in there. Like you mentioned, you have 2 spots up for grabs. Look, they were 41-41 a year ago.
Yeah.
They were a 500 team. They were good down the stretch. They got Jabari Smith. Can he take that next step?
I think he can. I hate to say I'm a believer in him.
Yeah.
I'm a believer.
I want to see him do a little bit more, though. He was inconsistent at times. I want to see Tari Eason get some more minutes because he's good when he's on the court. Yeah. You got veteran leadership. I mean, you got Jeff Green, you got Dylan Brooks.
Van Fleet.
Say what you want about him. Yeah. Fred Van Vliet, Steven Adams is on that team. And then you draft Reed Shepard, who a lot of people believed was the best shooter in this draft class. That's something they were missing from a year ago, was that outside shooting. They got a little bit of everything. They honestly remind me kind of similar to the New Orleans Pelicans. Now, the Pelicans have bigger stars, and they're a little bit more veteran. This team seems like they're maybe 3 or 4 years away from becoming
but they're coming
what the Pelicans are now. I mean, I like the Rockets. I think they're a solid young team.
Okay. Spurs, how you feel about the Spurs?
I think Victor Wembanyama is a great player. Yeah. They're going to have to rely on him too much, though, I think. I mean, I still don't think they have the top-tier role players around him in order for him to make a push. Now, if Wembanyama has an MVP-type season, they can maybe squeeze into that 9 or 10 spot. Yeah. I don't see it, though. I think they're just on the outside.
Okay. And Warriors.
Warriors are done. The Warriors are
done.
I'm with you. I think this is pretty cut and dry. I mean, you basically have – it is not the Warriors dynasty that we saw
at all 6
or 7 years ago. It's basically Steph Curry and a bunch of guys like you and me out there on the team as well.
So, we're getting minutes on the Warriors roster.
Yeah, we are. We are getting minutes. You're getting more than me. I'm not a very good player, but I'm on the team. I get to wear the uniform.
I can set a mean screen now. I can set a mean screen.
I can set a mean screen. I can do that. But they're done. Curry's a great player, but he's getting up there in age, and there's not a lot around him.
Okay, so my question to you about the Warriors, if they miss the playoffs completely this year, what do you think's that next step for them? You blow it up? Do you get what do you like as a team that has a all-time player like Steph Curry, his career's coming to an end? How do you feel about that's why I have them really on the outside looking at, obviously, because you pull the roster up. It's Steph Curry, Draymond, and me and you on the team. But other than that, what do you do? What would you do?
You have to keep Steph Curry. He's the cornerstone. Steph Curry is a Warrior for life. I don't think he's ever going to play anywhere else. That's just my personal opinion. I think if that happens and you have to blow this team up, you do stick with Steph Curry. You got to move Draymond Green and Andrew Wiggins. Those are big contracts from veteran players who are past their prime. Yeah. And then you just got to kind of rebuild through the draft, maybe get some young guys in free agency. They got some young talent on this team. I mean, there's a few guys out there.
Kuminga, that's the only guy I really like. I mean, I like Pods. Brennan Pods, whatever. Yeah, I like him. I like Pods.
Yeah, Podzimski, he's a good player. Kyle Anderson can give you solid stuff.
He's
a solid bench player at this point in his career. But you got to load up on young free agents and players in the draft. Yeah. Move on from Draymond and Andrew Wiggins. Hopefully you can sign a free agent with the cap space you clear up with those two guys. But I think keep Curry and then just try to get as young as possible around him.
Okay. This is why I have Taylor here talking, because I enjoy Taylor's insight. He's going to give you He's going to give you real ball knowledge. Taylor's not just, he knows ball. So just to run down my top 10 again. Well, I don't have a top 10. I have a top 8. We just discussed the last 2 spots, but I have OKC, number 1, Wolves 2, Mavs 3, Grizzlies 4, Nuggets 5, Pelicans at 6, Suns at 7, and the Los Angeles Lakers at 8. I guess I'll give y'all my 9 and 10. I'll slot the Rockets at 9. And you know what? Take that back. I'll slot the Kings at 9. I respect the Kings. Taylor he gave a good, compelling point. The Spurs will probably have to rely on Wembanyama a lot. I don't think Castle or Vassell will take that next. I mean, Vassell's interesting because he's a 20-point per game scorer. He's interesting. I'm not gonna say he's not. Keldon Johnson. I don't really know what to make of them other than Wemby. So I'll go Kings at 9, and I will go the Houston Rockets at 10. But the Houston Rockets could damn near be 8 or 9. So that is our Western Conference breakdown. Honestly, we might do an Eastern Conference breakdown. You never know. Even though the Pelicans play in the West, let's just see. Try and get things through. But this has been another episode of the Pelicans Scoop. Thank you guys for stopping by. If you made it to the end of the video, like I said, comment what you think the top 8 would be. No, in fact, give me a top 10. Give me a top 10 teams of the West. Let me know in the comments. Let's have a little discourse, man. Like I said, if you rock with me, I'm rocking with you. And this has been another episode of Pelicans Scoop. I am your host, Jordan Kitchens, and we're signing out. Peace.